Hello, my beautiful and lovely people of the internet. Welcome. The name is Mia. Welcome to Mia is Anonymous, the podcast where I talk about girlhood, womanhood, and feminism. Except today. I am recording this on Saturday. But by the time that you see this, it will be the Lord's Day. Yes, it will be Sunday. I go to church. I go to Catholic church every Saturday at 4 p.m. It's something new that I've been doing it. I've been doing it since the beginning of 2026. And I'm just going to leave it at there. I was going to go into detail on why I'm going into church, why I'm going to church, why it's been a routine, why it's something that I started. But you know what? I'm actually going to keep that to myself. But today I want to talk about something objective about religion. This is not going to be a subjective video. If you're already skeeved out, or you're scared, or you're nervous, do not be nervous. I promise you may learn something out of this video because this is not meant to recruit you. This is not meant to sway you. This is just an objective observation that I've made and is making me question a lot of things about life. But first, I want to pull up a quote for you, and I hope that you stick around in order to hear it because it's something that not shook me to my core. I'm being hyperbolic when I say this, but this is a quote from Jesus. This is in Revelations, verse 3, lines 14 through 16. This is, I don't know if this is verbatim, but it's like, I know your deeds, that you are neither cold nor hot. I wish you were either one or the other. So because you are lukewarm, neither hot nor cold, I am about to spit you out of my mouth. And that is Jesus's words. And basically he's talking about how he has a distaste for lukewarm Christians who are neither hot nor cold in their faith. Kind of like people that are like they believe in God and they do like the bare minimum, but they're not fully immersed in the word of the Lord. And the reason why I bring this up is because I think when we talk about religion and we talk about it in a subjective way, we talk about how religion is in your heart, or religion is about how you feel on the inside, what is going on in your heart, how you treat others. There's a lot of morals and ethics that we talk about when it comes to the Lord and whether you follow religion or not, and how intensely you follow religion. And I understand why, especially in modern times, the focus on religion and the problem with religion has a lot more to do with morals and ethics, especially when we talk about rights for gay marriage and gay people in general, rights for trans people and their safety and protection, rights for women and abortion rights. I can see how we've come to a place where we only judge religion and how to use religion when it comes to moral and ethics. But I think there is a secret that we're kind of forgetting when it comes to religion. And it's about discipline. It's about law and order. It's about structure. And it's about rules and regulations. And the thing about what I'm learning from religion and what I'm learning when I go to these church is that there's a lot of cherry picking. And I feel like that's in my opinion what a lukewarm Christian is, because it's someone who cherry picks. It's someone who is willing to believe in God, but not really willing to give up sin, not really willing to do any disciplinary action to be better or to do better or to follow the word of the Lord. It's actively understanding what the word of the Lord is and being but he knows my heart. He knows that I'm a good person. Therefore, I should sin and I should still be okay because the Lord knows I'm a good person. But you're actively going against his word. And I mean this in an objective matter. God makes it very clear and very specific what he does and does not like. It is incredibly intense. And I think that's another thing is that people are very extreme with this idea is it's useless to follow the word of the Lord because it's too intense, it's too strict, it goes against everything that my human nature, and that's understandable. And I also think there needs to be a little bit of leniency with that as well. I feel like people need to understand that they're always going to sin, but it's about making an active and conscious choice to always be better. And that's just my humble opinion. And life is a journey. Like, this is not going to be a quick fix. This is not going to be an overnight miracle. It's a journey. It's a process. But that chipping away does make you a better person. And I think that's what we miss, like, with the Lord. It's like, the Lord knows my heart, but I'm not exactly following his word. And I think, like, a good example, I was thinking about Sophie Rain the other day. And this is no hate to her. Again, like, I'm trying to be as objective as possible, but I guess that's really hard with a topic like this. But this is my own personal opinion about Sophie Rain. She is a OF creator, but she's also known to be Christian and saving herself for marriage. Now, whether or not that's true, I don't know. I'm not here to speculate on that. For the purpose and sake of this video, I'm going to assume that she's telling the truth. I'm going to assume that she's very heavy in her faith and that she's an OF creator, which is actually, like, the only true statement that I actually can make in this video that I know, like, 100% is that she's an OF creator. But it's just, like, this funny thing because it's, like, she's saving herself for marriage because that's what God says. But God also says, like, you're not just supposed to show yourself. You're not supposed to do anything lustful until you are married. You are not supposed to self-pleasure. You're not supposed to show your naked body to anybody or perform adult acts until you are married. But it's very clear she is an OF creator. She is engaging in adult acts, and she's also tempting other people to commit adult acts. So this idea of, okay, well, she's saving herself for marriage and God knows her heart. Yes, like, God knows her heart. I'm not here to say that she's an evil person. She's not an evil person. She's not a bad person. I mean, like, if you want to talk about the morals and ethics of the adult industry and the SW industry, that's a different video. But for the sake of this video, I'm going to talk about religion and religion specifically. It's like, God makes it clear that, like, it's not just enough to save yourself for marriage, and it's not just enough to have a good heart. Like, you need to follow his rules. So if you're an OF creator and you're engaging in lustful acts, you're still not following the word of the Lord. And again, like, it's clear. And I'm not saying she's a perfect Christian. No one is going to be a perfect Christian. No one's going to be 100% pure and 100% holy. But you can't pick and choose what you want to follow when it comes to the word of the Lord. And that's, like, I think that's what's missing is, like, it's not enough to have a good heart. It's not enough to be as morally and ethically good as possible. There's discipline that needs to be taking place when it comes to religion. And again, I'm not here to, like, judge. I'm not here doing this judgmental thing. This is just an observation that I'm making as somebody who's been going to church. And the reason why I've been thinking about this is because not last week, but like 2 weeks ago, I was, we were at church and we were discussing what sin is and what it means to sin. It was preparation for Lent. It was, the priest was telling us, what it actually means to give something up and how it's not like, oh, I'm giving up chocolate or I'm giving up watching this type of television. It was more than that. It was like, maybe like giving up a behavior or a habit or a pattern that is holding you back. And he was going into detail about how, like, people don't really take their sins seriously because, well, they always like to compare themselves to somebody who likes to physically harm people. Let's just, for the sake of this, say, like, kill people. Well, they'll be like, I'm not a killer. I don't kill people. So obviously, like, I'm good. Like, yeah, like, I sin, but I don't kill people. And he was, like, trying to explain to us that, like, the Lord, like, sin is sin to the Lord. And I think, like, as humans, we like to look at sin on a scale. And we like to compare sin and which sin is worse. But to God, all sin is the same. And again, I'm saying this in an objective matter. Like, this is just the word of the Lord. This is what is taught to people through Catholicism and Christianity. This is in the Bible. God sees all sin the same, so it doesn't matter if you kill people or if you are cheating on your spouse. To the Lord, it is the same sin. To us humans, we know which one is drastically better than the other one. Like, yeah, like I think most of us would say cheating, yes, even though it's bad, even though it's harmful, even though it's hurtful, it's a lot better than killing somebody. And then he was also saying how like adultery is not just about physically cheating, it's about thinking about somebody else other than your spouse. It's about just flirting or even fantasizing, imagining, even like what's the word, entertaining the thought of it. That is considered lust and adultery as well, even though most humans would compare it, being like, okay, just thinking about it, just fantasizing is not harmful. What's harmful is physically doing the act of cheating. Most of us would compare it and we would scale it and we would see that one is a lot worse than the other. Therefore, there's one that is better to do than the other. There's one that is okay and then there's one that's not okay. But to God, all sin is the same. And I've been learning about this because it's kind of like reframing my whole thoughts on religion and on Christianity in general, and how people are so focused on like the moral and ethics of it. They're not really focused on the discipline and the laws and the structure that is in place, and how it is a very strict regime. It's a really strict follow. And I'm just thinking about it. Like I am thinking about it. Like I'm not saying this is truly not about me whether or not I agree or disagree with this logic, or if I agree or disagree with the practices or teachings of religion. This is just like the objective truth. Like it's sin is sin, and you can't cherry pick. And I guess this goes back to the lukewarm thing, is about like you either try to follow it or don't even bother. And it's like that idea, like either you're hot and you work really, really hard to follow it, to follow the word of the Lord, to follow religion, or you accept that you can't. But don't try to fence it. Don't try to sit on the fence, being like, well, I am a Christian and I do follow some things, but only the things that I find easy to follow. Right? It has to be hard. It has to be enduring. And it doesn't have to be like painful. It doesn't have to make you suffer. But there is a bit of work. And so like I've just been finding it like interesting, because it is like changing how I view things. It's given me a better understanding of people that are devout Christians. And it is giving me a better understanding of like just the world in general. And I can't fully explain it. I've just been using it as a learning experience. And I think it's also made me a lot more humble. And this idea that like I really don't know if I'm going to heaven or hell. Because yeah, I say I'm a good person. And I say I'm a good person because I've never physically harmed anybody. But I've had moments of rage, and I've had moments of like disgust, and I've definitely harmed people, maybe not physically, but verbally and emotionally. Like I'm not free of that. And like, yeah, like I haven't like done anything that we would consider extremely cruel and vile towards another person, but that's still considered sin. And I think it's just like humbling me, and it's actually freeing me more than like scaring me. I'm definitely not a sinless person, and I think it's making me more humble about how like I kind of understand what people mean now when this says like only God can judge you, because like it's the truth. It's the truth. We really don't fully understand what it's like to be extremely pure in the way that supposedly Jesus was. But we also don't know what it's like to be extremely evil and vile. At least most of us don't. So it's just like this weird it's just like it's making me question a lot of things. And like I would tell myself, like even if I didn't like fully believe in the religion, I would tell myself, well, obviously I'm going to heaven, I'm a good person, like I try to be kind, I'm caring, and like yeah, like I sin all the time. I get angry, I get lustful, I get greedy, I get jealous, but like that's okay because I have a good heart and I don't hurt anybody. I don't kill anybody. I don't go out of my way to be mean or to be cruel or to be vicious. But I still sin. And me being a good person is not enough. And that's like what I'm trying to get at. And I find it all very interesting. Let me know if you find this interesting. I would like to know. Also, I was gonna end it here, but I just like want to say like it hasn't made me like feel like I'm going to hell, or it hasn't made me fear hell or fear if I'm going to heaven. It's just actually like kind of, I guess I've been using it in a sense to like realize my own humanity. Like it's made me feel more human realizing how imperfect I am. And it's also kind of actually made, I don't know, I won't lie, like I struggle with believing hell and heaven. I struggle with the whole believing in religion and stuff like that, but it definitely is, I guess like it's made me feel more human because at least I'm honest with myself. I think I'm honest with this idea that like I know there's a lot that I can be judged on. And I know that I am not a perfect person. And I know it's not just enough to be morally and ethically good. There is law and order for a reason. And it's not enough to just do what you want and then think you get rewards with it too. I think I'm learning like the beauty and the value of discipline and structure and order. But I'm also like recognizing my humanity, and I think it's making me brutally honest because now like I look at all my sins and I look about like the requirements that it takes to get into heaven, and I realize I don't meet those requirements, and it's that kind of honesty that like sets me free. And I just have to hope for the best. I think when people come to that conclusion, it makes them more scared, it makes them more fearful, it makes them feel more shameful. But it's just had the opposite effect on me. It's made me feel more human, which I find very, very interesting.